welcome to the 2nd of August and the weekly video update. With me this week, as always, the lovely Laurie. And our special guest who we've missed greatly, but she's back, Hannah, also known as Crystal Academy Guru. So we're going to talk to you about 3 groups today that have got things that are happening this week. Crystal Academy, the Daily 30 and Supernatural Stitches. So let's start with Crystal because I believe there's something fun happening.
Yeah, so we are going to be starting our field trip tomorrow. I am so excited for this field trip, and I have obviously background knowledge, but so we've put up a couple of things in the group, but essentially it's going to be in an event this time. So I know we've done in pictures, we've done it kind of a bunch of different ways, but we think that the event is going to be the easiest way to do this. So everybody will create their own post. It's your post, it's not your team's post, it's your own post because you can go whichever direction you want. So it's very much, if you were in term 1, it's similar to how we did the field trip in term 1. It's almost like a choose your own adventure, but it's an escape room. So it's a little bit different because you are trying to escape the dungeon or escape the, I don't know, underground, the layer underground that we didn't know existed until this term. But so you'll be stitching 200 stitches to be able to move. You're going to have to be kind of patient with us because we're not going to sweep constantly, but we will sweep, a couple of times maybe throughout the day. Caitlin is really going to be in charge of the beginning of the field trip, and then I'm going to take over kind of at the end because she is going to be away on her anniversary trip with her husband. So real life does take priority in that situation. So we will be sweeping occasionally, but be patient with us if we only get one sweep in that day. You'll have 200 stitches, but you have plenty of games, I'm sure, to put other stitches into. Yeah, escape room. The other kind of big piece of information is if you are somebody who has you just started, because I know we have a couple of students who have just recently started and they missed 4 of the classes before now. If you want to, you can choose to catch up on classes rather than do the field trip. You can't do both, and you can't, finish your classes and be like, okay, I'm done, now let me start the field trip. You can't do that. You can only do one or the other. So if you've done all the classes, go ahead, feel free to do the field trip. If you haven't, decide whether you want to do one or the other. If you decide you want to do the field trip, we will still have remedy weeks at the end of the term. So if you only have 2 classes to catch up on or a few levels to catch up on, feel free to do the field trip because it will be super fun. I think it's going to be super fun. I want to do it myself, but I'm not going to. So I think I've hit all the points. Do you guys have any questions from what you've seen so far that I can answer preemptively?
Well, my first question is, how long is the field trip lasting?
So it's 2 weeks. Just like a regular class would be, it's 2 weeks long. So some people will move faster through it depending on how much we sweep in a day, and some people might move slower if we are not sweeping as fast, depending on where they are, how fast it takes them to stitch 200 stitches. But in 2 weeks, everybody should be able to get to the end of the escape room.
Cool. Awesome. And are there points for the house?
So there will be something that you get at the end. I'm not going to give away what it is, whether it's points or whether it's something else, but you will get a prize at the end. And if it is points, quote unquote, let's just knock on wood. If it is points, it will be house points. It won't just be, or dorm points. It won't just be points for you. So it'll go into the total.
I have a question. Are any of the teams, are you penalized if some members don't participate?
No,
Okay.
You can choose to, you can choose not to. If you've done all the classes and you just don't want to stitch for that, you're just I'm not interested in the field trip, you do not have to do it. It can be 2 weeks of just relax, do whatever you want. But we tried to make it pretty simple with just being 200 stitches per choice. We didn't think that was too much, and you can take like a day or two. It can be longer than a day. So if we sweep and we notice you're not done yet with your 200, it's fine. We'll come back and get you later. It might mean that it takes longer for us to get to you because we would have just swept, but we will come back and find you.
We can work on anything we like.
You can work on whatever you want. You can't double dip though. So if you decide to work on something like your extra credit piece, it can't go towards extra credit and the field trip.
Can we work on extra credit while we're on the field trip?
You can work on extra credit while you're on the field trip, as long as those two stitches do not come together. Fine, we don't care.
Any others, Laurie?
No, that's it.
Awesome. It sounds like so much fun as always. Looking forward to it. All right. Well, let's see what's happening this week in the Daily 30 group.
Okay, so this week we have Coral Reef Week. Say that multiple times together. Coral Reef Week. It runs from July 30th through August 13th. There are 6 prompts with the Daily 30. So first prompt, the stitch count. 300 stitches, 3 tokens, 400 stitches, 4 tokens. Or if you want to stitch hours and not count, then it's 3 hours or 4 hours per prompt. That work out? First prompt is stitch on a whip with less than 25% of the stitches already completed.
Well, that's like all of my pieces. That's like almost all of my pieces. The only one I think that's excluded from that is Mulan. So any of the other ones.
That's good. Well, since you do so many big full coverages, that makes
Right.
sense. Yeah, so I'm going to be pretty boring with this answer too, because I've just started a model stitch of an Australian sampler for Paddock Lane Designs, and I didn't bring the sampler in to show you, but I've just started it, so it's less than 25% done. So easy. I need to get that work done. Beautiful. Laurie?
On One Nation, I just started it, but it's pretty popular, and it's like less than 5%. Okay. Next prompt is stitch on a whip with something that is that is usually clear. So an item in your whip that's usually clear.
I think I would do Canine Sanctuary because the windows are usually clear in a house.
Definitely are usually clear. If they're clean. I'm struggling with this, which I know you guys laugh and go, oh my God, Lisa, you have so many houses, do the windows. But I am limiting myself at the moment to my 21 in 21, although I discovered when I was doing the monthly yesterday that I finished 2. So I can actually put 2 more in. So we might get to them. But I want to workshop something with you guys. I also want to try and see if I can double dip with my pieces. My Spooky Hollow is a piece. How would you feel about ghosts being clear? Do you reckon they would be clear enough?
You can do that, but also you have a haunted house up there, so that has. I know you said you didn't want windows.
Yes,
but
that's
it
true.
does have windows.
That's true. So I could use my Spooky Hollow with the windows.
And I think there's even 2 months.
Well, there is, yeah. All right, cool. Yeah. Well, it makes it easy. But yeah, I was just thinking outside the box, ghosts are usually like transparent.
Right, I would say that would work. If you say transparent, that should work.
And with Daily 30, in their Q&A video that they put up the other day, Karen did say that if you can explain it and justify it, they'll buy it. But it's got to be actually justifiable and believable.
My thinking was along the lines of you guys, that storefront window is clear, so you can see through it. So
my other thought is to double dip with my extra credit for Crystal, and I'm doing a stitch in time, and in that I have got that good old wine bottle and wine glass, and they are always clear. So that's a different option too for that one. See how I feel.
That's smart thinking. I like that. Okay, third prompt. Stitch on a whip where the chart is more than 2 years old, but that you only started within the last 2 years. The example that they give is a copyright date on your chart being pre-2019, and you just started it, within the last 2 years.
Okay. I would probably pull out, I actually have something for this, which is really wild because I usually don't. But so I would pull out Castles in the Air because it says 2017, so I'm assuming it came out in 2017. And I only started it last year.
Cool. Yay, she's got one. Well, for me, I know I thought about this too, and I thought, oh, that's going to be hard. And then I looked and went, that's so easy. It's like most patterns that we have, really, except for the newest releases. So my Pins and Needles, which is another one of my pieces, is 2015, I think. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And I started it last year in 2020. So yay, fits the bill.
Yeah. For me, it's Nevermore. It's copyright date of 2018. I just started it in June.
Awesome.
Okay. Prompt number 4, stitch on a whip with an unusual animal.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm just going to throw it out there, but I'm not sure if this would count. So you guys can tell me whether you think this counts or not. But World of Disney has like a bajillion unusual animals. Like Tigger is kind of an unusual animal, in my opinion. So I would probably do that.
Well, I think you've got a good point there. Like all the Disney animals are unusual because they're human-like.
Right.
They speak, they dance, they sing.
And wear clothes.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you a little sneak peek for this one because I pre-cut it. In my sampler, there is a kangaroo. Now, a kangaroo is not an unusual animal for people in Australia, but it is an unusual animal for everyone else because it looks like a great big oversized rat that stands on its hind legs, hops around and carries its baby in its pouch. That's unusual.
A little bit unusual.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go the mythical route and get Kraken. The Kraken is an unusual sea animal.
Absolutely.
I would say yes to that too. Awesome.
Okay. So final prompt is stitch on a whip with something that is a barrier.
Ooh, this one's hard because I could take that 2 different ways, like barrier, like you don't want to work on it for whatever reason, or a barrier, like actually there's something that's like a wall in the piece, right? So I'm taking it literally like there is something in the piece that could block something. So I would do Once Upon a Fairy Tale because the castle has stone walls, which would be pretty hard to get through. So I would call that a barrier.
Well, I'm going to also be using my model stitch for this one, but I have a photo here of this part. And again, I have 2 suggestions here. In samplers, you have that border going across the top that's a barrier between the letters and the picture, but also that is the outline of a coastline, and the coastline is a barrier to water.
Yeah.
Very good. I'm going with a traditional sense of a barrier in that the fence blocking off the graveyard in Nevermore is a barrier.
That's true. Very good.
Okay, the final prompt is the daily 30, which means you stitch for at least 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week consecutively, and you post a beginning and an ending, and you earn 5 tokens for that.
And you don't have to stitch on the same piece. It can be any piece you like. Just have to start and a finished photo if you do a different piece. But if you do the same piece, you can just do day 1 and then post your day 2 and day 3, etc. Awesome. Thanks, Laurie. So that's the daily 30. And then that brings us to the supernatural stitches for our other weekly prompts. And there are lots of different ones today, as usual. And like usual, it is season 5, episode 2, Good God, Y'all. You don't have to stitch on all of them. You do however many 100 stitches you like on every one of them, and you just get points that you use to spend on your stash at the end of the year or whenever you want to. So, number 1, Stitch on a project that features words in any language.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go, Hannah.
Okay, so I would do, again, I would double dip this. I would do Castles in the Air because it says dream a little dream with me at the bottom.
Yep.
I would do The Bee Comes because I like the saying and it's in English. There you go.
Surprised me. I thought you were going to do Nevermore.
Yeah, so did I.
Oh, well, she just suddenly plucked one out. I mean, I try, if possible, for these ones to do a different piece because you can do however many hundred. So there's no benefit other than you saying, yay, I got a 12 of them. I mean, do what suits you. My language would be my sampler. It has a big saying in English in it. All right, another week with an opportunity to work on a whip related to God or an angel. No, it's Hannah. Hannah, your wedding photo has the angel of Hannah in there.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, let's just go with that then.
What about you, Laurie?
I don't think I have any angels anymore. So I would be out.
I have angels, but again, I'm limiting myself to my 21. Oh, I got one I can do. This is on my list of 21. My Among Us, it wasn't me because this little person down the bottom is dressed up in their angel Halloween costume, but they also might turn into an angel if they get killed. So I could actually use Among Us for an angel. Go figure. All right, stitch on a project, Laurie, that features either a road or a natural area hiking trail.
Yeah. You know what I'm
I said
thinking.
Laurie now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay. So it doesn't really feature like a hiking trail per se, but like this features the whole entire world.
Yes.
So there's got to be a hiking trail in there somewhere.
There has got to be a hiking trail or a road or a natural area.
Yes. So it's my As the Leaves turn. There's roads and trails.
Well, for me, I actually think my world postage camp, particularly the Serengeti and Bali, are natural areas. So I would go with that one for that. Stitch on a project that represents a bygone era. These are great ones.
I would do Mulan because obviously, I don't know.
Yeah, obviously the
She's
Chinese
definitely
culture's changed.
Yeah.
I see. Well, I would change my mind knowing this next one and switch them around. But a bygone era, you can't get any more bygone than that.
Definitely.
Right.
So what would you do for your native area with a pathway in it, Laurie?
What would you stream at Haven?
Yes, that's what I thought you were going to pick originally.
Right.
She keeps confusing us. All right. Have you guys guessed what mine's going to be? A stitch in time. All those old fashioned ladies sitting around doing their stitching. Definitely. All right. The next one. Stitch on a project that represents battle, soldiers or sailors, or hell.
Or hell? Oh, geez. Well, I don't really want to pull this out again, but I have a limited amount of whips. So I would do World Wonders map because there are like soldiers by the castle. There's like the guy in England with the big hat. He's a soldier. So.
I've used this week before. The Beefeater, the yeoman guard wardens or whatever in England. So they're soldiers.
You're both going for the same soldiers. Well, I'm not.
Yeah, we're both going for soldiers.
I'm going to go for Once Upon a Fairy Tale because these guys here were soldiers, the little knights and whatever. So I think that would work.
I might steal that from you.
That's easy to do. It's all good. That's what we're here for, to give people ideas. Stitch on a project with a chart or finishing instructions which have caused confusion or consternation.
Literally every supervised max color chart that I am doing.
Yeah.
I don't have anything with finishing instructions, but yeah, I think really anything that I'm doing could cause confusion because I mix my colors up all the time.
Yes. I'm trying to, it's deep in my thread, but it's the Shadow Lane, the Alhambra Garden. That, oh, here it is. That they're so complicated. And some of the specialty stitches, they really take a good bit of study. And then you might do them and you say, that still doesn't look right. So
yeah, they're very, very verbose, those instructions. Well, mine's different. Mine's actually just the pattern. And that is this one. My fairy tale village pattern is atrocious because it's colored pattern and there's 3 or 4 colors and there's about 15 symbols that they use the same symbol in the 3 or 4 colors. So, let's not do more symbols. Let's just do all these different things. So, yeah, very, very, very annoying. I can't see the difference between the black and the blue and sometimes the purple. I just can't see it. The only way I can see is if I take a photo and blow it up super big and get it in the right angle and go, I think that's blue and that's black. Oh
yeah. No.
It's not good. Stitch on a project that includes a beach.
Okay. World Wonders map is literally the only thing that has any kind of beaches on it, so I would just do that again.
My fingers aren't that fast, and I'm operating off my cell phone today.
That's so good.
It would be Cozy Cove. I'm scrolling really fast for a picture. But Lisa, if you want to go, I'll pop up a picture in a second.
I can just put up a picture of Cozy Cove if you like.
That would be great. Thank you.
I just got to find it. It's here somewhere. Should be here somewhere. I am meant to be stitching it. There it is. Got it. Here you go, Laurie. You can have this picture.
Thank you.
There's definitely a beach in that. And it's not on my list of 21, so I can't use that one. But for me, it's double dipping I don't like to do, but my postage stamps has that Bali beach. And I think that's the only beach apart from that I've got in my current 21 rotation. Okay, the next one, stitch on a project that has stars or a river.
Aha. I love this one. So I would do Once Upon a Fairy Tale for this one because there are stars in the top, like on the top bookshelf.
I would do One Nation. They're floral stars, but they're clearly a representation of a star.
Lots and lots and lots of stars there. I'm a little bit perplexed because I'm trying. I guess I probably would go with this one. Now, I don't know if this would be, oh, I found a beach. But I'm wondering if this could be a river that they were sailing in rather than an ocean. Probably not.
No, I would say you probably could be. Because I know a lot of kids ships in rivers and ponds.
Yeah, so I probably could get away with that. Most of my other stars are ones that I think they're actually snowflakes. Oh, sorry. And my Spooky Hollow, I think, has some stars, but yeah, a few options. The next one is stitch on a project with a Celtic art theme or flavour. Well, Once Upon a Fairy Tale.
Does that have? I don't know. I wouldn't.
You want to call it Celtic?
I guess. I mean, it doesn't. I wouldn't necessarily call it Celtic, but I guess you could.
I suppose it was more English.
Yeah. I don't have anything that I would necessarily say would work for me.
I don't know because I really haven't studied Celtic symbols, but the borders in Nevermore, I don't know.
Yeah,
They're
maybe.
weird, like especially that bottom one there.
Mm.
I don't.
Yeah, I would say that.
I think you could try and say that they're a Celtic image. I think the only thing I could do, and it's not Celtic at all, but a bit like Laurie, is I might be able to say that some of these motifs on my Anzac came from Celtic origins, maybe. But it's pushing it a bit because it's not really Celtic, it's more the Islander origins. So I don't think I'd pass on that one. That's fine. When there's so many prompts, you don't have to do them all.
Right.
Stitch on a project that features a fancy car or a figure adorned with jewelry.
You can't necessarily see it, but I promise I was wearing jewelry during my wedding.
Yes, you would.
I will pull that out.
Nice. Oh my goodness. A fancy car, eh? I'm looking at World Travel Bookshelf because there's a few cars in there, but I'm zeroing in on that taxi cab. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I don't think I have any because I don't tend to do people like as the focus piece. And so I'm pretty sure I don't have a piece with a person with jewelry. So
If you look hard in your yeah, Cozy Cove might have someone with jewelry, I'm not sure. Well, for me, I would actually, there's my angel that I wasn't thinking about before.
I literally was like, I know what Lisa's gonna do.
Yeah, she's got all those beaded necklaces on. So yeah, go for that angel. The next one we don't have to talk about, but a title or a design company or a designer that has a letter pit stop at Mount Doom. So PITSOAMD, those letters. I'm sure it's easy to find someone with those. And lucky last, stitch on a project from which you decided to eliminate sections or elements of the chart.
I mean, I eliminate something that put something where that something was. So I'm not sure if this counts, but my castles in the air, I took out the original letters at the top and then put my own initials in there instead.
Well, I think that worked. You eliminated what was there.
Right.
yes.
She's thinking. While Laurie's thinking, for me, I'll take
Yes.
the easy road and do my sampler because as I'm model stitching it, I'm changing things.
I do have one. Language of flowers. Is it completely eliminating something or just modifying?
It just says eliminate sections or elements of the chart. Well, you could eliminate a stitch if you're modifying.
Right. If you're modifying, I'd say you're eliminating.
Yes, I modified some of the verbiage because it doesn't show very clear. Yeah.
I think that works.
I would do it. Yeah.
So that's what's happening around the traps with everything else in the weekly. What is happening in Dynasty of Dragons, Laurie?
We are currently in a round. So that round has one more week to go and it's super fun. And even if you don't finish, you just pick back up where you left off the next round week. And you can still stitch in the pub, I believe, if you feel like you have extra stitches you want to throw somewhere. And you can also still stitch for Vari's items, which is kind of like a supply shop. So lots to do there.
Cool. I know you're in Stitch Gone Trail, Hannah. What's happening in that?
Well, my group just got to the third trading fort. So we're waiting for one more team. You have to have three like families to open the trading fort. So we're now waiting. We played a game called Sunflower Surprise, and that was really fun. I mean, we're still playing it, but essentially you're opening sunflowers and seeing what's coming out of them. It's like a matching game. So it's really fun, but we're kind of just in a waiting game until somebody else comes to the trading floor.
In the Survival of the Stitchiest, we are continuing to work on ice sculptures and create them. Lots of bad weather keeps hitting, so it keeps throwing curveballs. A lot of the games are doing lots of curveballs at the moment, so it's keeping everyone on their toes. I know that our pirate ship just landed where we just went to the supply shack and we got a whole heap of really good things we could buy. We spent all our treasure that we won. So we're just sailing on the next sea, waiting for the next disaster to befall us. So many disasters. There's lots and lots and lots of games out there, guys. There is something for everyone, and not every game is for everyone. You know, you got to read the descriptions carefully, I think, when you join these games. I know that there's one game I'm playing at the moment that is quite competitive with high stitch counts. And some people joined it who don't do high stitch counts, and now they're feeling overwhelmed. And it's like, but it said it was going to be this way. When it says it, you believe it, because there are some of us who go for that sort of thing. There are others who want to go for a nice casual stroll through the woods. So, you know, check them all out, read them thoroughly, join and sit on the sidelines and just, you know, follow it for a few days before you sign up to be in a team. Because if any of these games that are team-based, you do let the team down if you don't participate. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see you again, Hannah. We'll look forward to when we next get to have you back. You don't have as much to tell us with Crystal because we're all just plodding through our beautiful 6 pieces. So it's not as much information, but hopefully that helped everyone. And we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.